what are the sort of growth opportunities are you are seeing? And as you know, there is a huge skill war going out over there, talent, a war for talent going out over there. So what are the types of skills that you really feel, are necessary in this new sort of world that we have found ourselves in?
What am I going to achieve from a digital perspective on transformation, and how is it aligned to my strategy and my objectives? So clearly, that's a big area in terms of growth, what we're seeing. The second bit there, everybody is saying that, okay, can I go onto the cloud? But not cloud just saying, okay, can I just go onto the cloud from a on-prem, off-prem to on-prem, but really saying, can I change a business model by going on cloud, and can I improve my customer experience? So very importantly, can I improve the experience? And third is also, what insights, I've gone digital, I've gone on the cloud, what insights can I get? To your example back of, can I give 4.5% instead of 6%? So really bringing in not just core analytics, but bringing in artificial intelligence and machine learning to say, let's be targeted. And like you said, the volumes in India are so high. How do you tap that advantage rather than only the going after a particular segmentation? So really, some of those areas are big growth areas for us. We see that not only in India, we see that across the globe as well. That continues. But what's interesting, as you mentioned about skills, so couple of things. One, what we're seeing is technology along with actual functional sectoral expertise is very important, because that really brings to the table a solution that works for clients. The second bit is also, what we're seeing is design, for example, design thinking. So really bringing in people with an arts background. Now, typically arts and technology are two different things. What do they have to do? But we are seeing some of our youngest kids, they come with a design background and they're able to improve the experience of the customer, because what we are seeing is that's improving the uptake, the offtake, for example, a number of things. So bringing in designs. We're also bringing in very different professions like doctors. If you're trying to help in a virtual healthcare system, you need to have doctors. So really, in some sense, the skills needed are also different. But the way we are looking at is really, in some sense, to say, how do we sort of start tapping into the ecosystem at a college level, at an undergrad level, rather than once they finish their graduation. And I know, both of us, that is Deloitte and Salesforce, have actually gone to campuses together to sort of do that, help them train, and then of course also intern and recruit with. So we're doing some of those things also, and with the gig model, which I think in India is slowly coming in. So you're really also using expertise bits, so that people don't want a job forever. They want to do few things at their time, but also using that gig model also to look at that. But the talent, the skill market is of course a big challenge. But really coming to sort of maybe link to that question to you is really you have, as an organization, you've been growing leaps and bounds, right? So in some sense, you're also digitizing a little bit of the world, right? So what are you doing in terms of this whole skilling thing? And you've grown rapidly. The number of people who've joined Salesforce is significant. So what are you doing?
So, it's not only a question of the number of people who joined us, which is quite large, but the fact is that, our ecosystem is also growing very rapidly. Mark Benioff, who's our main founder, he's already given a goal of $50 billion revenue by 2027 and FY27, which is basically 26, because our year ends in Jan. So that's not too far away. And that means that we need the ecosystem to grow. So as a lot of our delivery actually gets done by the ecosystem. It's not directly done, it's done through people like you. So the ecosystem is growing. And it's not only people like you who want to recruit Salesforce. As more and more of Salesforce gets into companies want centers of excellence within their team, within their IT teams, to be able to make the best use of whatever application they have taken on. And I think, that's very important. And I always give them this example of, squeezing with your hand, a lemon that you squeeze with your hand, you'll get certain amount of juice out. You squeeze it with your squeezer, you will get every last drop out. So, a center of excellence within the organization is something very important. So obviously, there are a lot of people who want Salesforce skills. So we are doing a number of things. First of all, we have a Trailhead, which is a gamified platform for learning. And up to a particular level of expertise, it's free. It's free for everybody at large. They can just register and get those certifications. After a particular level of expertise, of course, it gets priced, but below that, it's free for everybody. The second thing that we are doing is we have actually got some of our courses certified by AICTE for being given as electives, credit electives in engineering colleges. So we've already tied up with around 450 colleges to do this, but our goal is much bigger. We are trying to work with AICTE to not only get this true for all engineering colleges, to be given to them at will, and also to create, internships which people can do instead of a project. So, as you know, the last term is normally a project. So we are saying instead of a project, let's do an internship. And AICTE is very open to it. So we are working with them for that, so that by the time the person exits college, they are 2/3 ready with a Salesforce knowledge to get into the ecosystem and start working immediately. They may not be 100% ready, but at least 2/3 ready. Similarly, we are working with the National Skill Development Mission. We are working with NASSCOM. We are working with all of them in order to improve skilling. And we are working with a number of private universities and colleges, the biggest amongst them being Manipal. Manipal, we have created an MOU, and just today, this morning, I had a meeting with them where, they are considering opening a center of excellence for Salesforce, talent. So that's again something that we are working on very assiduously. And the last but not least is we are also just started a pilot on getting people who have left the workforce to come back and rejoin. So it's a 6-month certification course that we have started with a pilot batch of 15 women. This is more women targeted than men, but we can make it both ways. And this is just a pilot batch. But we do believe, as you said, now that the tier 2, tier 3 cities are all within reach, this is a segment that we would dearly love to bring back to the workforce. These are people who are engineers, who have left their jobs for various reasons, and who are now ready to get back into the workforce again. How do we reskill them and get them back? So I think there are a number of initiatives that we are doing across the board in order to improve the skill levels of people. And we are working in also, with some of these private agencies to actually look at economically backward people in the tier 3, tier 4 cities in order to give them the Salesforce certifications at very, very subsidized or maybe at free cost. And we'll take the burden of that and again, get them into the ecosystem. So a large number of efforts across the board, because we also realize that unless we improve the resources as well as the quality of those resources, ultimately, our goals will also not be met. And we don't want to be in competition with the ecosystem. We want the ecosystem to be as empowered as we are. So, whatever goes towards making that happen, we are trying to make it happen.